The Banker of the Abyss, J. Pierpont Morgan and the Consolidation of Reality. By the 1890s, the United States was no longer a collection of pioneer outposts. It had become a sprawling, chaotic industrial jungle. The railroads were overbuilt, the steel mills were in a price war, and the oil industry was a monopoly under fire. The nation needed a master key. That key was J. Pierpont Morgan. Unlike Rockefeller or Carnegie, Morgan was born into the vault. He didn't build factories, he built the systems that owned the factories. He realized that the greatest threat to a titan is not a rival, but chaos. Morgan's philosophy was Morganization. He believed that competition was wasteful and that the only way to ensure the survival of the American superpower was through absolute consolidation. The U.S. Steel Coup, the first billion-dollar deal. In 1901, Morgan orchestrated a deal that shifted the gravity of the global economy. He bought Andrew Carnegie's steel empire for $480 million. When the check was signed, Carnegie looked at Morgan and said, "I should have asked for $100 million more." Morgan replied with cold precision, "If you had, I would have paid it." Morgan then merged Andrew Carnegie Steel with dozens of smaller rivals to create U.S. Steel, the world's first billion-dollar corporation. This wasn't just a business deal, it was the birth of the military-industrial complex. For the first time, a single private entity had more resources, more workers, and more steel than most sovereign nations. Morgan proved that in the American vault, the banker is the king of kings. The War of the Currents, lighting the soul of the future. While Morgan was consolidating steel, he was also looking at the next great frontier, energy. This led to the most high-stakes drama in the history of science, the battle between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. Morgan backed Edison's direct current, or DC, but when Tesla's alternating current, or AC, proved superior, Morgan didn't hesitate to pivot. In a ruthless move, he squeezed George Westinghouse, Tesla's backer, and forced him to surrender his patents. Morgan then merged Edison General Electric with its rivals to form General Electric. Tesla's dream of free energy for the world was systematically destroyed. Why? Because you cannot put a meter on free energy. Morgan realized that to control the 20th century, you had to control the switch. He didn't just want to light the world, he wanted to build the world for every second of light. This is the hardest secret of the vault. Progress is only permitted if it can be monetized. The epilogue, the eternal vault of the U.S. legacy. As we look back at Astor, Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Morgan, we see more than just wealthy men. We see the foundry of a superpower. They were the ones who took a wild continent and forged it into an iron-willed empire. They understood the mindset of titans. Astor taught us to own the land. Vanderbilt taught us to own the movement. Rockefeller taught us to own the energy. Carnegie taught us to own the infrastructure. Morgan taught us to own the money. Together, they constructed the physical and financial vault that we live in today. Their names are on the libraries, the museums, and the skyscrapers, but their true legacy is the global financial system itself. The story of the United States is not over. The vault is still open. Today's tech giants and finance moguls are simply using the same blueprints left behind by these 19th century masters. The wilderness has changed from forests to the cloud, but the drive to build empires remains the same. This is the preservation of power. This is the history of the bold. And this, finally, is the U.S. Legacy Vault.